We finally have our own guy.
Yeah.
No DeBerg, no Bono, no Trent Green. I mean, I can go down the list of quarterbacks that weren't ours, and now we have ours.
You guys run the lease program, and it was good to finally buy one.
Right. That's exactly right. We got a good one. Turns out.
Today, we have a very special guest. He's an actor. He's a writer. Lifelong Chiefs fan. Eric Stonestreet.
Sports guy chest bump.
Well, let's go back
to 94.
Montana versus Elway.
Great game, first of all.
Yeah.
Love the era. Love Joe Montana. Love that team. And it was classic Chiefs game.
I feel like every celebrity that we have on is a goddamn Chiefs fan. Is everyone in that area just diehard Chief?
We have as much pride as Bostonians.
A little nicer people, though.
I agree. Yes, you said it first.
I'm a Bostonian, bro. Yeah. We're cold.
I'm learning so much about what it was to be a Patriots fan because they're just showing up every day doing their best, and they happen to be winning games just like you guys did. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't stand you guys for all the right reasons because I was jealous. You remind me of like how everybody talks about Travis Kelce. It's like, how the f*** is he always open? Met Belichick at the correspondence dinner one time.
How was that?
Yeah, good to meet you. Big fan of the show. I've never met Tom. You want to hear a great story?
I want to hear a great story.
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. Welcome to Games with Names, presented by Wynn. And on today's episode, we are recording from the Wynn Las Vegas.
Yeah. Our interview.
And we have a very special guest. I was going to say desk.
There is a desk in that studio.
It was a good-looking desk, too.
Yeah, it's all
There's a
lit
desk. Very special guest, Eric Stonestreet. And we go over the 1994 Chiefs versus Bronco, Montana versus Elway. The last time they went against each other.
Back when Monday Night Football was Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football was Monday night. There we go. He's an actor. He's a writer. He's a host. He kills it in Modern Family. We go over all that Hollywood stuff. But you know what? He was a real big gamer. Like, I was so impressed with how much he knows football and, like, the history of the game. He's like a historian, especially for the Chiefs.
Oh, my God.
But he knew a lot of everything.
Yeah.
He knows ball, lifelong Chiefs fan, Kansas State University.
Wildcat.
Real
deal guy.
We get into his awesome meeting with Tommy.
Don't spoil it.
He's got a great nickname for Brady.
He got a great nickname. And, I mean, he kept referencing his box at Arrowhead. We get into that, why it's so cool.
Pretty special.
Has some really good memorabilia in there.
Oh, my God.
Some really good memorabilia. And then we wrap up the show by hitting the old hotline bling.
And just a little editor's note, we had a little technical difficulties in the studio, so if you're missing some camera angles, apologies. The interview's all there. It should be fine, but there's a little bit of technical stuff on that, so just bear with us. Come to the interview.
So if you guys got my ugly side, I don't want to hear anything about it. All right. Make sure you check out Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, Snapchat, and TikTok at Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. We want to hear from you. Call in at 424-291-2290 and leave a message. I'm getting better with that, as you can hear. Let's go.
October 17th, 1994, Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado.
Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs are winless in Mile High and down 28-24 late in the fourth quarter.
But with 8 seconds left, Joe Montana drops back. He looks to his right, and he lets it rip. This is Montana versus Elway. Welcome to Games with Names, presented by Wynn. Today, we are looking at the Montana versus Elway, Week 7, 1994. Chiefs versus Broncos with Eric Stonestreet.
Just a compound word, Julian. Stonestreet. Just put them together and you
Don
get
Fine.
one big word.
You know what, Eric? I got hit in the head
A lot.
for a living
Yeah.
for
But dude,
12
you were
years.
so good at it. You were so good at getting hit in that. You delivered a lot of hits with your body to others' heads.
I was a physical player
Yes.
here and there, but it does mess with your memory.
Does it?
It really does.
Yeah.
So I got, I apologize on that.
No apology.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
You enjoying this week? We're here at Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, what do you got? 3?
I got 3. Into
Yeah.
5.
So I've been to, this will be the 3rd I've been to.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the one against Tom in Tampa and we lost.
Yeah.
So
It was COVID.
it was COVID.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go. And, but yeah, this is my 3rd. I'm excited, man. I can't believe as a lifelong fan, and watching my team, your team back in the day.
For
Chiefs,
2 years.
For 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah,
We
because
were
of Joe Montana.
because of Joe Montana.
Yeah. Great guy. That we're here. I mean, I waited 49 years as a person to get to a Super Bowl. And now in the last 5 years, we've been to 4.
Yeah. It's been unbelievable. Now, I was super excited when we found out you were picking a 1994 game.
Yeah.
A lot of people a lot of recency bias on what games to pick.
Yeah.
How come you picked this specific game?
Well, I went back and forth between the first Super Bowl because it was such an emotional time for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally cried on the sidelines after we won, and it was very emotional. But the 94 game I picked because it's a great game, first of all.
Yeah.
And I have such a vivid memory of the Willie Davis touchdown in the end zone moment at the Pike House fraternity at Kansas State University. Like all of us hanging out in the office of the Pike House and watching that on the edge of our seats. And when that happened, it's a memory, like just core right in the head. And loved the era, loved Joe Montana, loved that team. And it was a classic Chiefs game.
Yeah. I mean, this is a classic matchup, Joe versus Elway. I mean, 1994, Joe, does he still have it in the bank? Does he still got it? The Niners threw him away for Steve Young. And I used to love watching these old Chief games and just seeing that little Montana magic that he'd always have.
Yeah.
Like when he went back and he played the Niners and beat them. What was it on? Was that Monday Night Football? When he went back and played, I don't know if it was his first year or second year there, but I just remember he had a game-winning drive.
I mean, I think if he would have had one more year, Marty Schottenheimer, I think, is a Hall of Fame coach, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame someday. But I think if Joe would have had one more year in the tank, I think he would have gotten us there then.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting until 19 or 20, whenever it was. But yeah, when he came to town, his wife was a broadcaster on the local news, and our season tickets were right in the second row of the corner of the end zone. And Jennifer Montana used to do her hits for the news station right in my corner. And it looked like she was looking at me all the time, but she was just looking at the camera. But I was like, man, when Joe Montana come to town, his wife couldn't take her eyes off of me. I was like, all right, baby, here we go. I got to tell him and her that at the AFC Championship, when you guys beat us in Arrowhead, he was at the game. I was sitting with Commissioner Goodell, and Joe was in the suite. And
Name drop.
yeah, just hold on. Let me.
Hey, Commish, how you doing?
I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I get to go to the Super Bowl, because he invited me. I've told this story a lot, but it's a good one, and you should know about it because of how serious of a fan I am. He invited me to the Super Bowl in like 15, and I said, Commissioner, I'm not going to a Super Bowl until my Chiefs are in it. And he said, all right, if you want to wait that long. Cut to, I didn't go. Then we have the AFC Championship against you guys at Arrowhead. The phantom roughing the passer call on Chris Jones and the D Ford offsides kept us from. I know.
There's rules.
I know.
I mean, we could play that both ways with what the Chiefs have been doing through all year.
100%. You got to outplay the officials. I'm not complaining. I'm not one of those people.
I like that phrase. I hadn't heard that before.
You got to outplay the officials, bro. You got to, But that, I thought we were going that year. I really did. You remember that game? It was crazy, man. It was nuts. And he offered me a rain check, and I said, well, I'll only bother you if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. And now we're in the Super Bowl all the time. So I'm wearing out my welcome with Commissioner Goodell for sure.
Now, where did this fandom, how did this start? And like we just had I feel like every celebrity that we have on is
Is
a
a Chiefs
goddamn
fan.
fucking Chiefs fan.
This is our third in the Chiefs Mafia, man.
Third.
Oh yeah.
We got Rob,
We did Rob Riggle.
Riggle.
Yeah. We just
Heidi.
talking about.
Heidi, me,
and then we got Eric now.
and then you gotta get you gotta get Taylor. I mean,
Gotta
she's
get-
in now.
Put
She's
in a
in
good word
now.
for us.
She's in.
She's in.
I think they're married.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't
Travis
ya?
is great. She's great.
Amen.
That's the goal.
Let's
Three
do it.
kids.
Yeah. Oh my
Talented
gosh. Yeah.
kids.
Talented kids. Big blonde tight ends. Wait, that sounded like neo-Nazi or something. Cut that out.
Kind of like Gronk.
Really Aryan.
Pretty much Gronk.
Yeah.
Big long tight end.
Question for you.
Well, yeah.
There's got to be a couple like Johnny Come Latelys or Homer or phone posers in that like Chiefs celebrity fan group. Like, who's the one that knows ball the least?
Oh, knows ball the least?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who knows ball the least. That reveals itself in interviews, but I'm not gonna say who that is or who. If there is somebody that knows ball the least, I don't know.
Hey, hey, Jack, can we get all the interviews for?
Yeah, I'm
the,
gonna
Let's
crunch
gotta
some
grind
tape
some
right
tape
now.
on that.
Let me
My
crunch some tape.
fandom started very simply at a mall in Kansas City outside of a jewelry store. JT Smith, wide receiver, and Joe Delaney, the late Joe Delaney, were signing autographs, and I nervously went up like so many kids have done to you and said, "Mr. Delaney, can I have your autograph?" And I got it, and I still have that card in my man cave, and that began my fandom. I mean, I loved the sport of football. As soon as I knew what football was and could participate in it somehow, I became a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. And what's so weird, and I know you experience, is I'm not just a fan of the Chiefs. I'm a fan of whoever puts that uniform on, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a fan in me somehow. If you ever would have made it, I mean, like I would have forgiven all the Patriot years, and you're Chief now, man, and I'm all about you. So that's what happened with Joe Montana, and that was our franchise for so long, which is what makes Patrick Mahomes such a blessing. Is we finally have our own guy.
Yeah.
No DeBerg, no Bono, no
Herbeck.
Rich Gannon, no Trent Green. I mean, I can go down the list of quarterbacks that weren't ours, and now we have ours.
You guys run the lease program, and it was good to finally buy one.
Right. That's exactly right. We got a good one. Turns out. Pretty good.
I always tell every Chief fan, my favorite win was that AFC Championship, and the only reason it's out of
It was
respect.
cold.
Well, it's out of respect because I remember, I was telling this same story to Rob and Heidi. Monday Night Football 2014, pumped up, going to play Chiefs. They kicked our fucking teeth in.
Oh man.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
And that is legitimately one of the loudest outdoor stadiums.
Yeah.
Electric environment. Now, like everyone, is it like a college? Like, what do you guys? You guys have the Royals and the Chiefs. Like, is everyone in that area just diehard Chief?
Yeah, I mean, you come to Kansas City. I mean, it's we have as much pride as Bostonians and Philadelphians, and it's the same thing. It's
A little
just
nicer people though.
You know what? Let me tell you, I agree. Yes, you said it first. I'm only agreeing.
I'm a Bostonian,
Yeah,
bro. We're cold.
When we just played the Eagles this year at Arrowhead, I found two guys on their way to our suite, and they're standing over there in their Eagles stuff. And I walk up to them and I go, "Hey, has anybody told you to go fuck yourself yet?" And the guy's like, "No, do you want to be the first?" And I'm like, "No, I want to say welcome to Kansas City and treat you unlike your fans treated me at the Super Bowl last year. So welcome to Kansas City. I hope you have a great time.
That's a good fan right
and I
there.
hope you leave this game uninjured and as a loser."
Yeah.
I love it.
You should have seen him tell you, "Well, you want to go tell me to fuck myself?" Wouldn't say welcome.
Oh my God.
Well, are you starting to feel the heat now that like the Chiefs have become like the team in the NFL?
I love the villain era thing. I'm wearing, I usually dress in all Chief shit, and for the game tomorrow, I like that you cussed, and now I'm just fucking going for it, man. It's like, all right, I didn't know for
Balls.
sure. Yeah, shit balls. But yeah, I'm wearing I've never worn black to like a Chief event, so I got a black jacket with the Chiefs emblem, and I'm like, I'm Johnny Cash now. I'm in our we're in our villain era. It's
Embrace
hilarious.
the
going to a
bullseye.
funeral tomorrow.
That's when you know your organization's becoming a premier
100%
organization is
get
when
it.
you start getting fashion-y. You don't have to wear the all red.
Yeah.
You can start getting this new cool look
Yeah.
thing, all black.
Well, make no
Chief.
mistake, mine's like Tommy Bahama. It's still like adult, contemporary, old guy stuff. It's not these fucking pants over here. I'll tell you that.
Shout out to Tommy B.
That's all right. We get, got to keep that Gen Z look around. These
it's
guys keep you
good.
young.
But and here's the other thing I'm learning. I'm learning so much about what it was to be a Patriots fan during your run, because we're just winning. I mean, they're just showing up every day doing their best, and they happen to be winning games just like you guys did. And I couldn't stand you guys for all the right reasons because I was jealous. I mean, I respected you and admired you and respected the fan base and everything. I've never met Tom. You want to hear a great story?
I want to hear a great story.
Tom is right like 50 feet from us right now, FYI.
Well, shut up. Okay, so Super Bowl. All right. I never assume anyone knows who I am or what I do for a living. I meet people and introduce myself, and they're like, I know who you are. I'm like, well, I don't know for sure you know who I am. So my name's Eric. So at the Super Bowl, Brett Veach, general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, we're in the Super Bowl, okay, in Miami. He texts me. He's like, bro, where are you? I was headed to the team hotel. He goes, bro, where are you? And I'm like 20 minutes out. What's up? He's like, Tom Brady's here. And like a kid, he's texting me, Tom Brady's at the pool. And I'm like, Tom Brady, it's a lookalike. He's not at the pool. Why would he be at the hotel the Chiefs are at in a Super Bowl that he's not in? He goes, they've got an amazing water park here. He's here with his kids. You got to get here. We got to go meet him. I'm like, I don't want to meet Tom Brady right now. Now's not the time for me to meet Tom Brady. I want to meet Tom Brady in a different. Is he standing right up? No. And so it's not. He's like, no, I need you. I'm like, you're the general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs. You go meet. He doesn't give a shit about who I am. So I get to the hotel. He rushes me over, and Tom, sure enough, is out on by the water slide, sitting back in a recliner chair like this, and security around him, exactly how I want to see Tom Brady for the first time.
Sunglasses?
Sunglasses.
Shirt off?
No shirt.
How was he looking?
Secure. Great.
All right.
Fucking Tom Brady.
All right, that's good.
And so here we are. Brett's like, all right. You go first. You go first. I'm like, bro, this is not, I'm not going up to Tom Brady right now. He's like, no. So Veach, the general manager, arguably the greatest general manager right now in the NFL. He's like, you go. So he's like, Tom, Eric Stonestreet, Modern Family. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. This is so humiliating. There's nothing worse than trying to get someone's attention with what you do for a living. And so surrounded by security, they kind of let us get close. And Brett's like, I'm general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, Eric Stonestreet, Modern Family. So we kind of approached Tom. Literally, Tom's on his recliner. It's the best fucking thing ever. I love it. And I respected him so much more. He's reclined like this. He literally raises his shoulders 2 degrees off the back and he goes, hey, nice to meet you. And he just puts his shoulders back. And that was our meeting with Tom Brady. I'm like, Veach, I will never in my life forgive you for embarrassing me like that. So now we call Tom Brady 2 degrees Brady. Because he literally 2 degrees Brady, because he was like, nice to meet you. And then just back down on his recliner. So I'm like, how dare you embarrass me like that to the greatest? Anyway, so if you ever see Tom, tell him I'm a fan.
2 degree Brady now.
2 degree Brady. I mean, he was so unbothered he could lift his shoulders 2 degrees off the thing. Hey, nice to meet you.
A gentleman always raises himself up 2 degrees to meet someone.
Like, bro, I'm not gonna assume he watches. Like, I don't need people that are the greatest at what they do to know what I do. Like when I would go to
did you say
the greatest at what they do.
Okay, just
to know what. Yeah, no argument.
Yeah.
No argument.
You said it.
At the time, at this time, we're coming.
Ever to do.
Patrick's coming. Anyway, when I'd go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and these generals would come up to me with all these things on their chest and then be like, I have no idea who you are. And I'm like, I don't want you to know who I am. I want you to make sure we're safe. I don't want you watching TV. Bill Snyder, who was just up on but Bill Snyder, coach at K-State.
Legend.
When he first met me, he didn't know what I do. I'm like, Coach, I don't want you knowing what I do. I want you winning K-State football games. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, I met Belichick at the Correspondents' Dinner one time.
How was that?
He loved it. He's a big fan. He's a funny guy.
Well, let's hear it. What did he say?
Well, he was with his then wife,
Linda. Yeah.
Are they
Girl?
Yeah.
No one knows. We're tabloid people here.
I don't want to get into that.
Dog mom.
We walked up and she wanted to meet me and she said, this is Bill. And I'm like, there's a picture of he and I on my Instagram from way back when. My glasses fogged up. I said, I can't believe my glasses are fogging up with you, Coach, but nice to meet you. He was great. Yeah, good to meet you. Yeah, good to meet you. Big fan of the show. That's what he said.
That's it?
Yeah.
He's, in a controlled environment, like an environment where he's comfortable, let his hair down a little.
Yeah. Well, the clip of him going as a pirate to your costume party with
Randy Moss.
With Randy Moss. It's legendary. I mean, that's all you kind of need to know about him.
Oh my God, that's Linda. That was Linda at the time. She made him do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. He didn't want to do it. That Linda over there, he wanted to break down
He
film.
was out there rolling though.
Now, were you on the roster when Matt Light was there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
love
came to
Leiter.
a Patriots game, a Chiefs-Patriots game, but as Matt Light's guest. And then I went to a bar with all you dudes afterwards, wherever you went, over into like a mall or something.
Patriot place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What
was,
year?
Well, it was one of Andy Reid's first years in Kansas City. So we're talking like 14, 15.
I was there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was at that bar because
Gronk was there. I remember Gronk and Matt and those dudes. I didn't see 2 Degrees. He wasn't there. Oh my God. He's going to beat my ass.
no, he's not. The thing is, you're gonna meet Tom Brady, and if you know, once again, he's in an environment where he's comfortable. He's legitimately like awkwardly nice.
Yeah.
Like he's that kind of guy where you're like, is this real?
Yeah. 100% know what you mean. Larry King was that for me.
Yeah.
The great Larry King, arguably one of the most recognizable people ever.
Yeah.
When I met Larry King, I'm like, are you fucking with me right now? Like, are you just a nice person? I totally get it.
Yeah. No. So why don't you take us back
94.
to 94?
Yeah. How about the
This was my first year I ever played football for the Redwood City 49ers, by the way.
Irwin City 49ers? Yeah.
Redwood City.
Redwood City.
I'm 30 miles south of San Francisco.
Yeah. Man, by the big sequoia trees?
Exactly.
How great are those trees?
I am such a tree lover
Yeah.
because of those trees.
I mean, 4 hours and 25 minutes from my house in Toluca Lake is when you go, holy shit. Like, that's how long of a drive it is. And I've taken so many people up there. It's a great experience. Anyway, 94.
Hold on, let's
What?
give some sequoia trees some love.
Yeah.
I was just up there a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, and like it's one of those things you go on a hike and you see one and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And then you go like 10 feet further, you see
They're
another one.
older than
the
the
exact
An-
same.
They're older than the
Wow.
Andes Mountains.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
They-
The trees were there before the fucking mountains.
They are so cool. Like I don't necessarily. I grew up in Redwood City, just 30 miles south. You probably go to Muir Woods or something.
Kings National Forest.
Kings. And I'll take 84 all the way to the beach, and you just have these windy roads and these you have like these cliffs with these trees that are 80 feet tall, like right next to the damn road. It's just so cool. It's cold because of how tall they are. It keeps all the
Yeah.
moisture inside.
Yeah. It's awesome. Fireproof. Those
Yeah.
trees are fireproof, basically. I loved them so much. I got a little sapling and planted it in my front yard in Toluca Lake, and it's doing great.
Yeah.
I got one from Annie's.
I wanted to put a couple in. I live in Brentwood. I wanted to put a couple there, but I don't know if
They'll do fine.
will they?
Yeah, water the shit out of them. When you bury them, put PVC, have your landscaper put PVC pipe down to the roots and just water the shit out of them at first and get them going,
Yeah.
and then they'll take off.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they take the moisture from the air, not necessarily the roots. That's why they'll do okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you're listening to Landscape Talk with Julian
I
Edelman.
love
There.
trees.
No,
Street
you joke,
talk.
but like if you came to his house to do the show,
Yeah.
you would spend 30
I would
minutes on
show
the
you.
landscape.
I love
Bonsai?
sycamores. I don't have a bonsai, but I have beautiful Japanese maples in like a courtyard.
Beautiful. Maples
Like I
are
just
great.
put in this Korean grass under the Japanese maple, which is it's still not matured, but in like this next spring, it's gonna be fucking beautiful. That in that area, the native tree is sycamores.
Yeah, love sycamore
So
trees.
we have there's a sycamore built in between my house, pretty much.
Is it bent over?
Yes, one's bent. It's like
Yeah.
a two thing, and then like we're right here, isn't it? I love trees because of growing up in Redwood City.
My co-star Ed O'Neill lives over on Old Road. I don't know where you are from Old Road in Brentwood, but he lives
Yeah.
on Old Road. Where
Yeah,
the equestrian area is. Al
He's a
Bundy.
ball player too.
Huh? Yeah, he
He's an old
played.
ball player,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had a cup of coffee with the Steelers.
yeah.
I didn't have any cup of coffees with anybody other than Piper High School. I'm dealing with plantar fasciitis right now. Have you ever had that?
I have. It's
Dude,
terrible. I've
got anything
I've
for me?
had such bad feet problems. I've broken my 5th metatarsal twice on both feet.
One of your guys got a scooter out there. I rolled in. And I'm like, bro, I'm stealing this for tomorrow.
Dude,
That's
Your
our boy
ankle's
Sam.
fine.
Yeah, I've lived on those. The feet. You got to get good orthotics. It's
I got him in.
yeah. You got to. After this, I'll send you a guy. They're really expensive, but
Okay.
they're life
You're
changing.
like, hey, we can't talk about this online.
I
but
got a guy.
I got a
guy for orthotics.
I got a guy. No, it's actually Brady's guy.
What, 2 degrees?
2 degrees. It's
Oh
2
my
degrees.
God.
94
Take us back to 94. What was life like for you this time?
94, I was a freshman in college. Well, no, wait. I graduated in 90. So I was freshman, sophomore in college. I did 1 year in junior college. I thought I wanted to be a discus and shot putter until I found out how heavy those things were. I was like, holy shit, these are a lot heavier than my high school ones. So I went 1 year to junior college. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make the Olympics. So I'm moving on.
You know who's a crazy shock putter? Vince Wilfork.
Oh, dude. And Joe Tooney probably is too.
No, but Vince like competes.
Still?
I don't know, not still, but sometimes we'd be in OTAs and shit. He'd just be out there throwing a fucking shock put. I'd be like, what the hell? He's go forever.
I love Vince Wilfork. I got to introduce myself to him in the elevator at Arrowhead one time and told him what a big fan of mine, fan of his
He's
I was.
a lovable guy.
I love that.
Did he have overalls with no shirt?
No, but he was wearing a lot of gold and chains, and I just like, this is exactly how I wanted Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
I wanted this, how I wanted to meet you.
He knows how to barbecue the shit out of some
Of course he
ribs.
does.
He's a giant.
So I'm in college, 94, Joe Montana, John Elway. The other reason I picked this game is because, so we have a suite at Arrowhead, and when I got the suite, they asked me what pictures I wanted in our suite, and I said, I want offensive line themed pictures. And they said, well, do you have any favorite memories? And I'm like, well, we had a tackle named Joe Valerio who caught tackle-eligible touchdowns from Joe Montana, and he caught one right in front of me at Arrowhead in my seats. And so the motherfucker types it in. He's like, oh, right here? I'm like, yes. Hold on. I'm going to be in this picture. So sure enough, in this picture, Joe Valerio's got his hands up in the air, and there's a young me in the background wearing a green polo for some reason. Still have no idea why I wore a green polo to Chiefs name. But there I am cheering. So that's up. Those pictures are up in my suite right above where that touchdown happened. Well, Joe Valerio scored a tackle-eligible touchdown in this game against John Elway on Monday Night Football.
Also, John Alt was a tackle this game.
Favorite player. Offensive lineman. Have you seen him? I mean,
what do you think?
Bring up a
Joe's
picture.
gonna go.
Oh, Joe's gonna. I wish we were bad enough to get Joe Alt. My dream is that we have John Alt and Joe Alt. Love Joe. I love him. He's 10, 11, I would guess, is where he'll go.
Maybe even earlier. I've heard like 5 or 6.
Well, leaves the wide receiver for us at 32.
I'm so happy we're doing line love.
I love
Whitworth.
Whitworth.
Yeah.
Oh,
big line guy.
Love him. Love him.
You must love Matt Light.
Oh, love Matt Light.
How fucking funny is he?
He's hilarious. And I've heard some of the pranks that he did on your coach.
With the mouse.
Yeah, and
or
then
the shock one.
Yes, the shock one, and then coach sent him a letter or something. I remember some story about him sending him a letter and got Matt Light back, and Matt was like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." And then was like, "Got you with that letter, didn't I?" Yeah, love offensive line. Love Joe Tooney. You played with Joe, of course.
Tooney he's a fucking badass. I love that kid, man. He's really brilliant too.
So smart
Guy. He'd be in his locker reading a goddamn romance fiction book or something.
Yeah. Well, just look at it this way. He tore his pec. Well, I don't know if he tore his pec. He hurt his pec.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Put it out.
But my point is he wanted to still play. And you know what an injury that is. And they just ruled him out, I think, today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Great kid. Awesome guy. Love my offensive lineman. Nicky Allegretti's going to go in for him. Nicky 2 rings. I gave him that. Or Nicky 2 kids. I gave him that nickname after the last Super Bowl because he had twins on the Super Bowl, the day of the Super Bowl last time in Arizona. I'm like, you're fucking Nicky 2 kids now. Nicky 2 kids Allegretti.
We got to get you. We got to get you just to nickname things.
Yeah, what do you want? Who needs nicknames? We got old we need help over here.
We need help naming games. We're like at the bottom barrel of naming some of these games. We have some trouble with that. So let's get into the roster. We're time.
Oh, roster?
Yeah, 94.
John Alt. JJ Burden, Willie Davis, one of our scouts on the Chiefs. Yeah. He's a regional scout of the Chiefs.
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen.
Joe Montana.
We're just past the Christian Okoye days. Christian Okoye had just retired in, I think, 92.
Herm Edwards was a secondary coach.
Joe Valerio, Will Shields, Hall of Famer.
Mike McCarthy was on this staff?
Oh, yeah.
Was he really?
Quality control guy.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. And like I said, Alan Wright, our equipment manager, current equipment manager, was the equipment manager here. And I texted him the other night that I was going to be on the show talking about this game, and he said, quote, besides the Super Bowls that he's been in, this was his favorite game as the equipment manager.
Yeah.
This game right here is his favorite game.
This game is incredible for Windbreakers.
Windbreakers.
Oh, my God.
He still has his. He said he can still wear it. I'm like, bro, you should have archived one of those from every year. How many penalties? All the penalties in this game.
How many we have?
20. I think the Chiefs had 26 or 27 penalties.
What are we doing?
Wild.
So you lose a game.
Yeah. exactly.
Also, back-to-back fumbles like in the fourth quarter, like with like 3 or 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Shannon
yeah,
Sharp.
Yeah, back to back.
Yep.
And how about Jerry Markwright, the referee, how he just walks around and just shove. And I couldn't, the other thing I couldn't believe is players getting in the refs, like right up on the refs when you watch that game back. I watched some clips the other night.
Well, that's why they put all these rules. Like if you touch a ref, you can get thrown out.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's because of this generation.
And apparently, if Chris Jones just like comes close to Tom Brady's helmet, that's a penalty.
Well, it's kind of like that with Patrick Mahomes now,
Shut up, whatever.
And watching this game too, like you see, like the refs had the old school like white pants that were like
Yes.
now they got these like sloppy
Yes.
like
Quit
these
making-
type of like sweatpants.
Yeah.
I don't want to buff ref, and I don't
love
want you to
the
try to
thigh
look cool.
pads. Back in these days, when I was a kid playing, you would put 2 thigh pads in
Yeah.
to look like the pros.
Yeah.
Just because they'd wear those big ass thigh pads.
Neck rolls. Let's
Neck
talk about
rolls.
neck rolls.
Yes.
A lot of neck rolls in this game.
Great neck roll
Yeah.
game.
A
you were
lot of neck roll
Inside
game.
the jersey or an outside the jersey neck roll guy?
I like the outside the jersey. Irv Eatman was an offensive tackle for the Chiefs that wore it outside. What was the linebacker for Raiders?
Howie Long.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, defensive end, Howie Long. But
Bill Romanowski.
Bill
Bill
Romanowski
Romanowski.
outside neck roll.
Remember when he spit in JJ Stokes' face?
Oh, dude, Romanowski. I mean, come on.
Remember he's a guard in the longest yard remake.
Yes.
Yeah.
God,
I
juice to the
mean,
gills.
you're talking Chiefs, Raiders, hate. Broncos, John Elway,
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon
Sharp.
Sharp.
Wade Phillips, head coach.
Wade Phillips.
Jason Elam. Jason Elam was kicking forever.
Yeah, Jason
He was
Elam
in this game.
Yeah.
Big Ted Washington.
And we had a former Bronco lineman, Cragen, I think it was, that had come to the Chiefs, who was a legendary Bronco before. Kind of like
Yeah,
Neil
Greg-
Smith. Neil
Greg-
Smith went from the Chiefs to the Broncos after this.
Do you guys hated the Broncos at this time?
I don't think we hated them like the Raiders. I mean, we hadn't won in Mile High in like 14 years up until this point or something like that. Crazy. I had a bet with a guy that if either of our teams ever won, because he was a Broncos fan, and I had a bet all 4 years of college that if each team sweep, we'd shave our head, and never happened.
Yeah.
Split.
Yeah, split.
Yeah,
So
24 total penalties in this game. Insane.
24 total
Yes.
or on the Chiefs?
Total.
Oh, okay.
14 on the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah.
Felt like 24, though.
So with the Raiders and the Chiefs rivalry, any weirdness with Marcus Allen coming over, or is
I
that
think
once
from
the Chiefs?
them, I mean,
Yeah.
I love Marcus Allen. I
He
mean,
already said if anyone puts on the Chiefs uniform, doesn't matter where
yeah,
you are.
yeah.
He loves you.
I'm in, bro. I mean, I'm
He's a
in.
true fan.
And what better? I mean, what I always love about Marcus Allen is Marcus never went sideways, backwards. Anytime Marcus Allen was tackled, he always somehow fell forward, which is kind of how Jamal Charles was too.
Jamal
That's how I was
Charles.
feeling about Rex
Holmes.
Burkhead.
He's a beast.
Beast.
I used to, so I played, what year was that? In 2011? I had to play defense.
I remember that.
And my job for the game was I had to cover Charles. I was the money.
Do you think we'll do that Sunday? Do you think we'll do a similar thing of how we did Lamar with Christian? Like kind of like spy him a little bit? You can't put a spy on a running back, I guess.
It's just tough because they have so many weapons.
Kittle.
Kittle,
Ayuk.
Debo,
I like
Ayuk.
Debo.
Debo.
Hi, Bebo. What's up, Bebo?
You should say that. You should call him that.
That has a way better ring to it.
The fullback. I mean,
Juszczyk.
Yeah,
dude,
what was your fullback's name that when
James Devlin?
Yeah, and
Loved him.
And
No,
who
but
man?
what was the
Who
running
man?
back's
Rex
name?
Burkhead.
No, the guy in the game against the AFC Championship that scored that one
Oh.
touchdown.
Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead.
Is it Rex Burkhead?
Sony
Okay.
Michel?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sony
No, Rex
Michel.
Burkhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who just retired?
He just
He
retired.
was another fall forward guy to me.
Yeah.
Always didn't it seem like that?
Yeah.
How about Pacheco?
I think he's a stud.
Isaiah,
I think
baby.
somebody said
Runs hard,
running
runs
hard.
angry.
Coach Reed just said he reminds him of Roger Craig, and I think that's such a
High
great
knees.
high knees, baby.
North and south runner. Always getting downhill. I think that's going to be the key for them. They have to establish that run.
Well, the thing that won't happen Sunday is Kyle Shanahan will not all of a sudden stop running the ball, which is what happened with the Ravens and the Bills.
8 rushes.
Yeah.
4.8 a carry or something.
So
30, what is it? The 29th ranked defense against the run. You have the best ranking offense on run with Baltimore.
But how much of that though, like as an offensive player, like what did Spagnuolo do to even?
I don't think it's what Spagnuolo did. I think it was a panic because they got behind.
Yeah.
So then you get off your game plan. A lot of times you can rattle an offensive coordinator if they think like, oh, it's going to get out of hand. We got to start throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Teams stick in the game plan and still run the ball, I mean, you're not gonna have to worry about that with
Buddy of
Shanahan.
mine that played, he always said, and I always look for this, see if you agree with it. He always said if a team early does any kind of trick play, it's a sign that they don't think they can win and they need some kind of advantage, somewhere.
Well, the Super Bowls, that's a lot of the case in the regular season, but the playoffs and Super Bowl, there's always a saying, nothing's left in the bag.
Yeah.
If we got it in the playbook, you're going to throw it out
Yeah.
there. And if you need it, like, there's nothing that's saved.
Yeah.
So that's kind of true in the regular season.
What Super Bowl were you the MVP? What number?
53,
Against?
the Rams.
Oh, yeah. How many non-quarterbacks have been
It's
Super
more
Bowl
than you
MVPs?
think, too. We
Oh, it
just
is
talked
more?
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Jerry-
Cooper Kupp,
Jerry Rice,
Deion
Branch,
Malcolm Smith,
Any-
Dexter Jackson.
couple running backs.
Any defense? Charles Woodson ever?
No,
Malcolm
Von
Smith
Miller.
in
Yeah,
2014.
Von Miller, yeah.
Von
and then
Miller.
was it Dexter Jackson on the Bucks, that first Bucks one?
Did James Harrison get it that year
2003?
with the Steelers?
No, I think
No,
Santonio Holmes.
They gave it to
wide
Santonio
receiver.
Holmes.
Holmes.
Ray Lewis got it back in 01.
Ray Lewis.
Scary guy.
Can't imagine.
We worked together on Inside the NFL, and let me just tell you, those pre-production meetings, I felt like we were getting a locker room speech
Yeah.
every time. I wanted to run through a fucking wall
Yeah, that's
anytime
awesome.
he spoke. And half the time, it was just a quote from goddamn Gladiator. I bust his ball all the time. I go, Ray, will you stop using Gladiator quotes? This ain't.
Eric, as like a football guy, like I got to be a fly on the wall with watching Jules and Ray Lewis just talk shop.
Yeah.
Just like alone in the corner of a room in the green room. I gotta say, it's the best
Oh,
football memory I've
can't
ever had
imagine,
in
man.
my entire life.
My dream, I've watched a lot of college games on the sideline, and I have not yet got to watch an NFL game on the sideline just to feel the speed of everything. But my dream, and I think probably NFL rules will never let me, but I would love to listen into a game like
On the
coach-
headsets?
Yes.
That'll never be.
Yeah, it'll never happen.
Unless you
Unless I become a coach?
unless you
Oh.
become like really cool. I don't know, Andy Reid maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm close to coach. I just think it's like,
Maybe a preseason game they could give you a headset.
yeah, sit up in the booth or something. I couldn't be down. I was
It's
like,
like premium subscription on Amazon Prime.
oh my
next
God,
year.
could you imagine? Could you imagine? So do you have, I know this is like, I feel like you could either have an answer to this or be like, bro, but do you have a memory of the hardest you've ever been hit by someone?
Yeah, Brian Dawkins when he was with the
Eagles?
when he was with Denver.
Oh.
Remember he was Denver for that stint?
Mm-hmm.
In 2009. I saw a star for 3 weeks. I got hit so hard I saw a star for like 3 weeks.
That's why when you said my name, you went, Eric Stone.
Street.
Fuck that stuff. Well,
Thank you,
fuck
Brian
that star.
Dawkins.
hey, you know what? You know what he called Rob Riggle? He was Rob Riggle was Rod Ribble.
Rod
the whole
Ripple?
show. Yeah.
Rippled for her pleasure. Rod rippled for her pleasure.
I'm not a word guy. Not
Yeah,
a word guy.
You know, I asked
Not a number guy
Spagnolo.
either.
I asked Spagnolo at camp this year if you could go take any guy off any roster you've ever coached and put on this Chiefs defense. Brian Dawkins was the name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cam Chancellor lit me up in the Super Bowl pretty hard once.
Mm.
That one where
Big
they
fella.
thought I was knocked out. There's been.
I mean,
a couple.
because how you played coming across the middle, man. I mean,
But you know what? It's crazy. And the early part of like the first 5-6 years of my career, you could get hit. And then, I used to watch after a season, I'd watch every play. I wanted to just watch the game, every play I played. And I would sit there like at the end of my career and I'd be like, I would have been knocked out of 15, 16 of these catches if the rules were different. You know
Right.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
it used to be legitimately a no-fly zone. If you go across there, you're going to get knocked out. You're going to be out for 2
Right.
weeks, and that's what it was. But, the game's changed. It's
yeah.
a
Well,
space
some
game
of those
now.
hits in this game, the '94 game, Neil Smith and Derek Thomas getting on John Elway after the whistle. I mean, no way would happen.
Different
No, I think you would get arrested if you watched if you did some of these things in this era and like you watched the 70s hits.
And Joe Montana, not a big guy.
No. That's why he only played the amount of years he played. He broke his goddamn back.
Yeah.
For the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a thin
Remember
guy.
Remember how hard he was hitting Buffalo that year? I mean, I'll never forget the image of him sitting on the field, them like kind of lifting him up and just looking at him, and it just looked like his eyes were gone. I was like, oh my God. All right, Joe. The other thing I know it's your podcast, but it's so awesome for me to like get to ask you questions. You remind me of like how everybody talks about Travis Kelce. It's like, how the fuck is he always open? That's how I always thought of you as a hater of the Patriots. It's like, why is Julian Edelman open again? Why is he no one over there with him? What is that? Because from our seat at Arrowhead, I'll just take plays and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna watch Travis. I'm not gonna watch anything else, and I'm just gonna see how he gets open. How do you guys do that?
I think that's predicated pretty much on the chemistry between the quarterback and the receiver, and also, Travis has seen everything, and just because a play is drawn up a certain way. He has the football IQ to say, like, all right, well, there's no one going to be in this area. So if I kind of just redirect over here, I'm not going to fuck anyone else up. And I'm probably going to get the ball because Patrick's looking at me. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of feel, and you see that in Travis Kelce's game. Like, he runs a lot of unorthodox looking routes. And a lot of people used to say that about my routes.
Yeah.
Where you look at the paper and that's not what it's supposed to be. But he knows he needs to be in this area. It doesn't matter how you get there, but he has a quarterback clock in his head where he knows this is going to
1001, 1002.
And I just need to be there.
Right.
So however you get there is
and then
the
it becomes talk about the hips. You guys both had those swaggy hips. I'm like just getting around. Elusive.
Very elusive.
Yeah.
He's slippery.
They call me hippie. I got some elusive hip. 5 minutes toss. Oh, cut that out.
We gotta run through this epic Monday night showdown.
Okay, yeah.
It was everything it was built up to be. Montana, Elway combined for 650 passing yards, 5 TDs. It was a little slow starting out, nothing after the first, feeling each other out in Mile High. Then we get on the board 14-14 at the half. Elway is slinging one, Montana slinging one. They trade TD passes in the third. Then it comes down to the fourth.
Minute 25.
It's the same old story. Elway does the drive. 10 men on the field. He runs it in himself. They take the lead with a minute 29 left. Now it's Joe Magic time.
And it really, when you watch that drive, it really is, people talk about Tom Brady with the 10-yard, 3-yard, 4-yard dump-off passes. I mean, he did just
check down
the whole field.
And what was so interesting, I'm rewatching it the other day. You see guys in this situation today, it's from the shotgun, empty backfield, spread them out. Back then, Joe's under center every snap with 2 tight ends. They got a minute 29 left, 2 timeouts, and he's still marching down the field under center. I love it.
You look at the Chiefs now with this year.
Yep.
They've been a lot more under the center.
Yeah.
Because you got to incorporate that run game.
Helping the tackles out a little bit.
Tackles, it's a big thing. And there's something to be said, like when people say, oh, it's a dink dunk, this, that, to have the discipline as a quarterback to not take the foos goal. Because there's spots where it opened up and it closes quick. And to be able to not make a mistake in a high pressure situation and take what the defense gives you, it seems easy for the regular person, but it's so hard because you feel that pressure, you feel the time, you feel where you are in the game. And that's why you like Patrick Mahomes this year. He's been like that. He hasn't turned the ball over in 6 goddamn playoff games. And it hasn't been razzle dazzle, but he's had the humility and he's had that kind of confidence to like know what his team is, know that we have a really good defense right now. We know, defenses are playing us probably a little different. We don't have what we had in the past on the outside, and to just take what the defense gives you that's a skill.
Discipline. It's just
but there's going to be that one time where you hit that check down, you hit that option route. There's going to be that one time where you have to put that 14-yard in cut in there, and that's what these guys do.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw with, Joe Montana, and that's what you saw a lot with Tom Brady, and that's what you're seeing right now with Patrick Mahomes. It's been impressive. Jack, what's this last drive? Can you walk us through it?
Do you remember the last drive?
Well, I remember our tight end, Keith Cash, was out. He was injured. So we had, I believe his name was Tracy Green or something like that. It was his rookie year from Grambling State. Grambling State. Biggs. He was a former offensive lineman, 6'5", 275, big old tight end. He had a crucial catch down at the end of the game to get us close to the goal line. And then Willie Davis. I mean, the great Willie Davis, again, still a Kansas City Chief, gets that touchdown. And where Montana put it, very Mahomes-esque. I mean, Mahomes would say my passes are very Joe Montana-esque. Right where it needed to be, right leading him to the pylon. It was great.
Low and outside.
Yep, low, only where he could get it.
So a lot of what you're coached in the National Football League on that, the back line, everything's high, so no one can catch it. When you're on the goal line, everything has to be low because there's less space. You know.
How about that pass from Josh Allen against us that was so low and down at the pylon in that game? And then Patrick Mahomes returns the favor against the Ravens with an equally great pass. Like
Oh my man! And great recall, Eric. Shout out to Tracy Green. He only had 6 career receptions in the NFL.
Yeah,
and Joe's leaning on him in crunches to crunch times.
Yeah, I think he played one more year and
He
then
did.
that was it. Yeah.
He did one more year for the Steelers, Grambling State.
Yeah.
Grambling State.
And this one ends up 31-28 in the House of Horrors. Kansas City goes in there and gets the win.
Boom.
And 14-year drought.
Monday Night Football.
Right?
Yeah.
14
Yeah,
Marty
drought.
gets his first one in there
Yeah.
at Mile High.
That's awesome.
All right,
I love Marty Schottenheimer, Marty Ball, baby.
Marty.
What a legend.
Now let's name the game. What's the name of this game? You got the great nicknames.
All right. Oh.
Monday night.
Is one of those the real name? And
No,
I'm guessing-
no,
Oh,
whatever.
you can pick one.
We
We're
got to
just
make
giving
the name.
options or something else.
Montana versus Elway. Montana's Mile High Magic. Joe versus Joe.
Joe versus John.
Can't read.
Montana's Mile High Magic. Joe versus John.
Or something that you think it should be.
It needs to have something Mile High. Joe enters the Mile High Club officially.
There
Something
it
like
is.
that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's
Oh,
so
hell
good.
Yes.
Now let's score the game presented by WinBet. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes 1 to 10, decimals okay. The stakes of this game, regular season game.
What am I saying?
What are the
You got to
stakes?
score it.
What are the stakes
Score
of this
stakes
game?
of this game, regular season game.
Of the game we just watched?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of this game.
Huge
Yeah.
stakes.
Yeah.
Huge stakes. We've done
Week
Super
7.
Bowls.
Yeah.
Week 7, 2 teams that finished what, Jack?
Yeah.
9 and
The
7.
14-year drought.
And 7
it's
and
Joe
9.
Montana.
Okay,
So
sure.
stakes high,
Yeah.
10.
Broncos
10.
won.
10, baby.
Broncos are 1-4 at this time.
High stakes.
Oh, 1 and 4, 7.
7.
There you go.
Thank
That's
you.
integrity right there.
Thank you.
The star power of this game.
10.
10?
Joe and
Joe
John
Montana,
Elway.
John Elway, 2 future Hall of Famers, Marcus Allen.
Shannon Sharp.
Looking for redemption from Al Davis.
Al Davis?
Now, what hurts this game is we do a lot of Super Bowls. You get a lot of like the celebrities there.
Yeah.
You know, Week 7 game, not a whole lot of celebrity star
Well,
power, but it's a
Were there
football-
even
it's a
celebrities back then?
Good, love it. 10.
The
10.
Windbreakers were the celebrity.
The
baby.
gameplay.
A little low on that because of 24 penalties. I mean, it was a sloppy game.
Sloppy.
But you got a game-winning drive.
Game-winning drive, back-to-back, but there were 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
2 fumbles.
The two-
Sloppy.
the
And
two
Joe
late
threw an
fumbles.
interception.
Sloppy. Turnovers, penalties, sloppy. What is it?
7-5.
7-5, and the name of the game.
The name of the game.
That you
is-
made the
Oh,
name.
yeah.
name.
Joe enters the Mile High Club.
Yeah, Joe enters the Mile High Club. I mean, I think that's pretty good because we don't know for sure. I mean, it's Joe Montana, so I bet you he's
He's
already been in the Mile High Club.
100%.
100%. But
100%. But this is officially.
a different
officially,
Mile High
yeah,
Club.
He
officially.
just calls his wife from the bathroom of the,
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
airplane.
The guy who's calling his wife on the sideline.
I'm not going to give myself a 10 on that. It's 7.
And also, too, how we like to think of name is like the cultural impact of it. This is a regular season game from 1994, and we're still talking about it. So there's a little bit of like juice that way.
A lot of juice.
Yeah.
8.
What's the score?
I'm bad at math.
Me too.
Look at these
We need
guys.
Gronk here.
Look at this Eagles fan. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, to the ground, motherfucker.
8.1.
Got his ass. Got him.
8.125.
but I just roasted you. Yeah. It's like how we feel when Mexican guys or Chinese people are talking about us in elevators. I know they're telling us to fuck ourselves.
Oh,
8.125.
8 point. Where's it ranked?
Yeah,
That
where's
puts us
that?
just ahead of the 2007 Fiesta Bowl, the Statue of Liberty game. Remember that one? Boise
2000,
State,
These are all our
Oklahoma.
games
Who
that
was
we've
in
done.
that?
That was Boise State and Oklahoma. Adrian
Remember that
Peterson.
great game,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Statue of Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a
Great
great
one.
electric game. We had
Yeah.
Zimbrowski and
Zabransky.
Yeah, and AP.
And Adrian Pearson.
and
Yeah.
AP.
Yeah.
AP.
Right ahead of that one, and then just behind the 1985 AFC Championship game, the Squish the Fish game.
Squish the fish.
Who was that?
That was
Patriots.
Gary Goldman we
Patriots
did.
Dolphins. We had Gary Goldman on to talk about that one
Mm.
And that was when they went and got blown out in the 85 Super Bowl.
by the Bears.
But
The
they were
Bears.
leading. They were leading 3-0.
My favorite Patriot from that time was a guy named Paul Fairchild. He played guard for the Patriots. He was a KU grad, and when I went to KU football camp, he came and spoke to us, and I became a Paul Fairchild fan.
Hell yes.
At some point,
But I rooted for the Bears in that Super Bowl.
At some point, we got to get you back into the studio in Brentwood because I would love to do Kansas State beats Oklahoma in like the Big 10, the Big
Darren
12.
Sproles?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a
You gotta love Darren.
Dr.
I love
Pepper
Darren.
Big 12
We had
championship
Hell
we
game.
had
yes.
a route named Darren Sproles because
Really?
of, the angle route for the running back.
Yeah.
He was so electric at that route.
That's not the wheel route, right?
No, but he would set that route up to look like the wheel route, and then he would cut in front of the guy's face. So they'd overplay because of the wheel, and his shimmy was always so
Oh.
good.
Darren.
He was one.
Legend.
And his punt returning, I love Darren Sproles, but I always hated him because I always finished second in punt returns because of
How
Darren
scary
Sproles.
is that? Come on.
I loved it. I
You're-
love.
you're cut out for it, but like the average person,
Yeah, but you actually can prepare for that play more than you think because of the time.
can you hear footsteps?
No, but you have like a quarterback clock. You have a punt clock in your head. You can tell by how far the punt is with how long it is in the air. And there's a lot of trust on your guys, but you're always scanning the field. So you'll take a picture, then you'll get back to the punt, and maybe at the last second you'll take one more picture to see where everyone's at, and then you get the punt, and then you go.
That was something watching that 94 game makes you remember how great kickoffs were, because remember the wedge
Oh,
and
yeah.
you see all those
Yes.
the wedges a big. And the other thing about that is there were no long snappers on this roster. It was just offensive line doing the long snapping.
Or
Very
yeah.
good point.
Now
Yeah.
it's a position.
Now it's a specialized thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go to
Shout
camp
out Joe
for it.
Cardona.
It's so funny watching Joe Montana taking he was the holder too,
Yeah.
I think. You get your starting quarterback as
Yeah.
a goddamn holder.
Can you imagine now?
Yeah. Eric, anything to add about this game?
No. Well, we'll see what happens. This will be on after the game, so I'll either look like an asshole or. But I think I think we're gonna win.
I hope so.
It's hard to bet against Mahomes right now.
Right. The only thing I don't like, which is Wentworth said last night, and I think he has a great point, is it's tough in the league, as you would know. I would not a former professional football player, when you're on a hot streak and then you have to sit for a minute. Like we were hot. We won those last 3 games, and now we had 2 weeks off.
And they weren't hot.
Right.
And they get 2 weeks to think about not being hot.
I know. I get a whole lifetime to think about not being hot.
Get out of here.
Not 2 degrees. Motherfucker's hot.
He is hot.
We can say it. We're comfortable in our sexuality, right?
No,
That's right.
I remember when the first time I met him, I was like, those goddamn blue eyes and that chin. I was like,
I
oh my
wouldn't
God.
know. I wouldn't know. Never made direct eye contact with him.
Well, thank you, Eric,
Thanks,
for joining
dude.
us. I appreciate it. This is an awesome episode.
Yeah.
And you want to plug anything? You good?
No, I'm good. I have nothing to plug other than the Super Bowl Sunday.
We love that you came, man. Big
Thanks.
fan.
You got to come back.
Thank you.
Well, that was a educational, on so many different terms type episode on how to be funny, on football rules, on football statistics, and just being an awesome football fan.
Knowledgeable.
And had a big league someone. Who knew Tom Brady?
2 degree.
2 degrees.
2 degree.
He got a new nickname,
That's
man.
fucking
That was great.
His nicknames are
He's
he's so cool.
He is a locker room guy. I bet Eric was giving everybody nicknames back in the day.
Yeah.
Or back in his frat days at KSU.
He
Hilarious.
just loves sports.
He was, I mean, these
I asked
Chiefs
him afterwards. Like I was like, "Yeah, hey, dude, you never need anything? Nah, you don't need anything. I just want to come say hi." to you."
here for the love of the game, baby. No plugs.
We got to get him back here and have like a longer episode, not constrained by Vegas.
Yeah.
I think he'd get into some fun stuff.
He was a legend, man. I don't know if we're just getting lucky with Heidi, Eric, Rob, and like we're getting them, but like these Chiefs fans, they know their stuff.
They're
Knowledgeable fans.
They're kind of turning me. And Travis saying nice stuff about the show. Like it's hard to hate him. I want to hate him so bad.
It's more of a passing of the torch.
Changing of the guard.
I understand what they're going through. So like that's why I respect them even more now, with how they've been able to overcome and succeed. And you know, anytime they got people thinking the shit scripted over you, you know you're in a fucking great spot.
They hate
You
us
know,
because they ain't us vibes. I know.
You know what? And they play it well.
They sure do.
I've gotten to know those guys. You know, I hung out with Patrick Mahomes before he was a starter, crossing paths with Trav, and they're good ass dudes out. You could tell they love ball and they work their fucking dicks off. So why wouldn't you want to see them go out and fucking do a three-peat?
Hey, man, I'm rooting for him.
They might.
Killer Trav. Love you, brother.
Well, let's go back around October 17th, 1994.
What a year. I mean, whoa.
First year of football.
That was your first year of football? Wow.
8 years
Seminal
old.
moment.
Redwood City 49ers.
8 years old?
Yeah.
Kurt on the team or no? No Kurt?
No, Kurt was
wasn't a
baseball.
football guy.
Baseball.
What was the weight limit for you?
I had to be at least 45 pounds, and I remember I had to put a couple like things in my pockets.
The
for
fact, like,
weigh-ins.
we lived such
It was like
different
45
lives.
to 105.
The fact that you, when I said weight limit for youth football, you went how much you had to weigh.
Yeah.
Versus like me getting down to my like underwear, having like spit cups, like trying to get under like 120 or
Oh,
whatever.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 55 for the little Giants couldn't play. I wasn't there. Wasn't there.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
was about 8 pounds short, I think.
Redwood City 49, we were badass.
Frank running that thing like the Army.
Well, it came from before my dad with Coach Frank Guida.
Ooh, shout out Frank. Other Frank.
Coach Guida was the guy. He kicked my dad off the field when he was like 7 years old or 8 years old because my dad had long hair. He said, "Get out of here, you hippie." That's how long he coached. He was like back in those days in the 60s.
People hippies.
Oh, that Frank's a hippie.
Yeah. So that's why my dad never played Bob Order, because Coach Guida, who became one of like our best friends as we grew up, as
Oh
I
my
grew
God.
up. No, but yeah,
hippie.
man, it was some serious shit over there in Redwood City. We won Super Bowls. Great mix of guys. We had like you'd have some of these like rich kids from Woodside. You have some of these hard-nosed white boys from like middle Redwood City. Then you get a couple of these East Redwood City kids. You get like some of the black kids from like Palo Alto line right there. We get a bunch of Samoans and Tongans, and like we were all rad disciplined. I remember going to like high school thinking it was a joke after like playing our Pop Warner, and how like hard we were coached and how well every single one of our guys knew their assignment. I mean, I remember my dad used to make up songs for the linemen, head up to play side, but if they're in the gap, we block that gap unless it's a trap. And he's got all these kids singing these songs for their fucking foot placements. I mean, it was fucking some of the funnest. I love Pop Warner football, man. I learned so much. I love it.
That's why sports are great, man.
94.
Great time, man.
Number one song. I'll make love to you.
Leave your
Like
clothes on
you
the
want
floor.
me to. And I'll hold you.
Bro, the fits in this video go so hard.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, I had to throw it on before this. Oh,
What do you have, like
incredible.
a tank top and he's on the jeans on his knees?
yeah, and you know the shirts.
Boys
there's
to
always
Men.
somehow wind coming in from somewhere, and the shirt's flowing.
Love
Sick little
this.
glasses. Oh, so fire.
Love Boys to Men.
Anytime that's at the top of the chart, you know it's a good year.
Number one movie, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, brother,
That's an icon.
this might be one of our best duos of top song, top movie.
It could very
It's
well
up
be.
there.
And then you look down here. What else was at the box office? Little
Forrest Gump.
Giants, Forrest Gump,
Little
and
Giants.
Shawshank.
Shawshank.
What was Jurassic Park?
Wow.
Let me see.
Jurassic Park might have been this year.
94 too.
Yeah.
Man, what a year at the box office.
Look at the range, though. Okay, look at the range you get. You get little kids, check, icon. You get drama, historical fiction, Forrest Gump, check, and then like novel, drama, like insane,
Stephen
check,
King.
and then we can even throw sci-fi, awesomeness, check with Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park 93, 93. Still close.
Wow.
We're in the
That's earlier
ballpark.
than I would have expected.
Dude, I mean, Little Giants, Forrest Gump, Shawshank, and Pulp Fiction, all rewatchables. All if you're flipping through cable, you stop and watch. You clear the afternoon. God, what a time.
You think Forrest Gump could have played the NFL?
I just watched it last night. I started it. No.
No. Couldn't pick up the block, the blitz. Might be able to run the ball, but you know, I need him in protection.
Nah. Speed can only go so far on in between the men line.
Bobby Boucher, though.
Bobby Boucher, yeah, probably. He could be a hell of a special teamer. He'd be a 4-team phase guy. You know, maybe a first and second down linebacker when you know it's a run.
We need to do a whole let's make a note of this. Let's make a segment at some point, post-show segment. Best fictional football player.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah. I was just thinking Friday Night Lights.
Palco,
Oh, Shane Falco.
lefty.
He's living on the houseboat. Gene.
But Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard.
Oh yeah.
Or Burt Reynolds.
But Reynolds would be great.
Also a real football player.
You guys ever seen the movie Brian song?
Brian Song, a tearjerker.
I remember I watched it as a kid. Sad.
Really sad.
True story.
That's one of those.
Gail
all-time-
Series,
Brian Piccolo.
Brian Piccolo.
And then Nelson Mandela visited the United States as the
hell
president
yeah.
of South Africa.
Let's
Right
go.
There you go.
Geopolitical talk. I like it.
Got to keep it in the sports world. 1994.
Oh baby.
Niners crushed the Chargers. Super Bowl 29. I remember this. Only reason I felt bad, Junior Seau.
Oh, that was early junior.
I was junior.
Damn.
So this was in 95, but it's the 94 season. So it was the extension of the season. Wayne
What
Gretzky-
did Jerry Rice have the Super Bowl MVP?
Let me double check.
He had like 4 touchdowns.
They gave it to Steve Young.
He had 5. What, he threw for 5 or 6?
Let me double check his stats here.
Because Shanahan was the coach, and he said he was gonna throw 9 or something, or
Steve was 24 of 36, 325 for 6 TDs.
6 TDs.
And Jerry was 10 receptions, 149 yards, 3 TDs.
Whoa.
Man.
It's wild that that's not the MVP
That's a-
stat line.
I guess the 6
I mean, you
TDs
can't
outweigh
beat
it.
6
Yeah.
touchdowns, but that's wild.
Jerry got one though. I think he got a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky sets the NHL record for 802 career goals scored. March 23rd.
It's a
A
wild,
great one.
It's a wild stat. Although it was one of those stats. All of Gretzky's records are like unbeatable, except this one. Alexander Ovechkin is getting close. I think he's like 50, 60 goals away, but he's fallen off a cliff this year, so it might be tough for him to get it. But Wayne Gretzky would love to have him on the show. Would do anything.
The
But
great one.
He's so sick,
He transcended hockey. He made it American.
and he's Canadian.
But he's so cool. He made hockey American.
When he went from Edmonton to LA, that helped with hockey.
That
being
was-
America. Yeah.
That's why hockey became hockey. Like now, I live in Boston. It's always been, but like, as not just a niche sport, Gretzky, bro. Ricky Hendrickson steals his 1,100 career base.
Dude, Ricky. Legend. Ended up with like 1,403 stolen bases, I think
Who
it was.
was that with? Was that with the A's?
That was with the A's. He was back with the A's at this time. That's one. Speaking of records, no one's gonna break. Like, I think Lou Brock is second. And he's like 600 or something behind him. No one's even close. That's currently playing.
You know who you want screaming of records that'll never be broke? Long police chase, O.J. Simpson.
Also this year.
It was this year, June 17th. I remember this was such a big thing. I'm 8 years old. So how old are you when you're 8? I mean, what grade you in?
Generally 8.
You're in
second?
Second, yeah, you're in
Second or third, maybe?
third.
Third, yeah, maybe third.
I have a kid. I remember them rolling. We were watching this in school. Why the fuck are we watching this in school?
Midday, bro.
School in the 90s.
Midday school in the 90s.
Midday school in the 90s.
That
like,
rocks.
O.J. Simpson.
School's right about to get out. It's June.
We were driving by a white Bronco the other day.
We were. That was awesome. Shout out OJ. Shout out Al Callings.
And this year also, Brazil defeats the Italians in the World Cup in the Rose
The
Bowl.
Rose Bowl. God, what do you mean?
Well, that's
Another great game at the Rose Bowl. What do you know?
I bet you that would have probably been so cool.
That would have been so sick. They should have done the World Cup there this year.
He's going to do World Cup
Come to America.
here, but it's going to be at SoFi.
Not as cool.
Not as cool.
Should we hit this legacy real
Let's
quick?
hit the legacy.
This game that we talked about with Eric, a little bit of a deep cut to some. It is a regular season game. We've been doing a lot of playoff, a lot of NFL, Super Bowls, all that kind of thing. This was an awesome regular season game. It was number 55 on the NFL's top 100 list. Does that feel right to you guys? Does that placement of this game feel correct?
50. I mean, it was the last time between these two.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, these guys were the Brady Montana or the Brady Peyton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're two of the biggest.
Yep. John had the edge 3-2 in all-time head-to-head matchups, but most notably lost the Super Bowl 55-10. Joe smacked them.
And he had more Super Bowls too.
He had more Super Bowls.
What we should do is we should take the next 45 minutes and just name 54 better games. I think the listeners will be okay with that. A nice 4-hour episode.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down the list of like the 100, like this is literally like a Games with Names checklist of like, yeah, we should do these. Yeah, we should do these.
Yeah.
For all you listeners at home, well, no one's going to be alive for this game. Sorry. 1958.
Yeah, the greatest game
The
ever.
greatest game ever played is number 1, the NFL championship.
I want to do that game with just some, like, just find like an old dude.
I mean, there's a lot of there's probably a lot of stuff behind that.
We've done 2 of the top 10. I mean, so
But
we've done 3 of the top 10.
Immaculate Reception.
We have done that
Malcolm
is not in
Butler.
there. Malcolm Butler game is number 8 according to their list. Number 9 is 28-3. We've done that. David Tyree's helmet catch 18-1. That's number 5. We have done that. And then the Immaculate Reception 13. So I mean,
Greatest comeback ever in Super Bowl, pretty much ever.
And then 1
Is
yard
number
short.
8. I mean, there's so much Patriot hate.
I know.
You're looking at these goddamn
Yeah.
lists. So much Patriot hate.
All right, let's
Ridiculous. 28-3, number 1.
Joe
Baby.
Cool is one of the greatest nicknames, though.
Big time. And even just Joe Montana is a great football name.
Joe Cool makes me want to smoke a cigarette for some reason.
Like Snoopy.
He's such a cool dude.
Joe Camel.
We gotta get Joe on.
Yeah, there's where you're coming from. We also talked with Eric how Mile High was kind of a house of horrors for Kansas City, along with a lot of other teams. Jules, where does Mile High rank to you amongst the greatest home field advantages in sports?
I mean, it's got to be up there. They've knocked this off twice in the AFC Championship.
Did you play in the older building or no?
No, I played
Just
in
the
the
new one?
newer one. I don't think the altitude hits you like what everyone says it does.
Not like Mexico City.
Yeah, no, Mexico City. That was like 90. That was like 9,000.
I think 6,000. The stadium.
But they've had a lot of big wins there. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's good.
It's up there, though.
It's definitely up there.
Mexico City altitude, 7,349
Yeah.
feet. Denver, it sits at 5,280 feet in altitude, whereas Mexico City is 7,349 feet.
The difference.
So it's like 2,000 feet more in Mexico. That'll hit you.
Joe joins the Mile High Club. Jackie.
That was what we named
That's
it.
a good name.
I like that name.
I want to take Eric up on, like, just shoot him a text. Like, what do you call this one? Because we're kind of at the bottom of the barrel with some of these games with names.
He could be our resident namey. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
joined
don't
the
think
crew?
he's wants that title.
He's more
Just
of a
giving
game
out,
name.
hey, yeah. I don't think he really wants us texting us every week. Hey,
That's true. He just counting that Modern Family money, baby. He said, "Let me get that residual in the mailbox."
exactly.
Oh man.
Jackie, we miss anything?
Nah, we were pretty good that episode. Although I will say, one thing I was a little bummed we didn't get to flesh out a little more. We talked Vince Wilfork throwing the shot put, man. That was awesome. So I had to do a little digging. Vince Wilfork was the 2000 state 4A champion in shot put and discus, if my research
He was.
is
He's
correct,
fucking
at Santa Lucia's High School in Florida. So shout out to Big Vince throwing that
Big
thing.
V.
I mean, I'm looking at a picture
he
right
was
here.
good at anything.
I never knew that. I mean, I knew
Like a ballerina too. He could dance.
I knew the overalls. I knew he was nice on the smoker. I knew he drove the big rig.
No.
Shot put, discus. He's a man of. He's
Man
a
was
Renaissance man.
explosive, quick,
Legend.
and he can make a mean barbecue.
As far as locker room guy, cool guy. Was he cool?
Yeah, he's like Big Daddy.
Hell yeah.
He just kind of stayed in his own little area. No one messed with Big Daddy.
I like that.
Did you get one locker or did you get two?
I think he had 2.
Yeah.
Tom had 2.
Big Vince deserved 3 or 4 in my book.
Yeah, Big V. Nah, I think Big V had everyone. I think only Tom had 2 at the end.
Oh, that's clutch. Big V needs a little studio apartment over there in the corner, bro. He's a legend.
But he was up in the defensive corner,
Running shop, baby.
running it.
I love it. But no, other than that, great episode, man.
All right, final score 8.125.
Respectable.
Maybe a little high. Star power, a little high. But once again, rescoring extravaganza. Coming
I thought it
soon.
was good.
I
I
thought
think
it
it's
was
okay. I think it's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the most egregious. Let's just say we've been way worse.
Let's go hit this hotline again. The number is 424-291-2290.
What's up, Jules and the gang? I love when y'all describe parts of the NFL that us fans don't usually get to see. I was wondering if you'd describe those minor annoyances or those small things that suck about life in the NFL that us fans wouldn't know about. Thanks.
It's a great question. A lot of great things that come to being an NFL football player. Some of the things that, that suck are you're put into this, everyone watches you. Everyone watches you, and sometimes they don't realize that some of these guys are humans. A guy misses a catch, doesn't do this, doesn't, he has a regular life to go back to, and he never gets to escape to that in that specific moment because of, the world we live in. So that's tough. Scheduling's tough. People don't realize you spend, I know it's regulated a lot more now, but we would spend, anywhere from 10 to 16 hours a day in the facility, and sacrifice a lot of family, relationships, all that kind of stuff, sacrificed during football season, which rightfully so. We get paid a lot of money. But, it's tough with, you get in, you play a game, you're beat up, on the road, all of a sudden you fly back immediately after you have meetings at, you get in, if it was a Monday night football game, you get in at 4 or 5 in the morning, 5-6 hours of sleep, then you come in, you got to watch the film, get a workout in. It becomes a grind. Now, first couple weeks, it's easy, but when you're battling, your body hurts, you're getting yelled at by your family or someone, a wife, girlfriend, this, that. You have to get your it's a lot to manage. So being a professional athlete or being a football player, great thing. But there are a lot of tough things that come with being it.
What about some minor workplace type stuff, like someone eating your lunch out of the fridge or someone using your Axe body spray, answer this question as if you're George Costanza.
I played in New England for 12 years. I won't say no names. But our omelet station guy, I fucked up my omelet way too many times. I was trying to be a nice guy. I love my guy. We're cool. But you do remember the time I had to get back there because I got so mad about it. I went back and made my own goddamn omelet.
Sending back the omelet. How would he mess it up?
Overburn it, or sometimes it'd be raw in certain areas, or
is this a French style omelet or an American diner style
no,
omelet?
bro. It's fucking omelet station. You got a guy sitting here fucking putting shit in your goddamn omelet. And it's my guy. I love him. I never said anything to him. But I would go back. It would be 6 in the morning, 5:45 in the morning, and it would ruin my goddamn day every time.
Then you got to go back through the line and you want a little trail mix and you see your coach reaching in there with his bare hands.
That's another thing. Workplace fucking cleansiness. Okay, you can't be running off the goddamn field in a humid August Boston day, Foxborough day, sweaty, stinky, scratching your fucking balls all practice, messing around with your goddamn jock, and put your hand in the nuts.
Oh, brother.
Or take a fucking, or take some of the grapes. You know what I mean? Because we have every fucking thing you could think of. Every fruit, this, that, and the other. Well, guys, after COVID, everyone was clean. Everyone was starting, but before that, guys were going in there grabbing some shit. Coach, I've seen you a few times not use the goddamn scooper.
Oh my God.
I had to call you out, bro.
Nothing like a little side.
I wouldn't eat from that thing because that they don't replace the bottom of the nuts. So that there's still that shit up in there.
The residuals.
Hey, there's some championship nuts down deep in there.
Maybe we should go to the well.
Oh my God.
Maybe we should go to the well.
Boys, it's Jordan from Boston. Love the program. I think two things. Number one, Kyler, thanks for calling guests out on giving everything a 10. Come on, Mark Cuban, 10 out of 10 for everything. Come on, get real. One game I need you guys to do, or I would love for you guys to do, get Vinatieri on, the tuck rule game, go through that playoff run, epic kicks, greatest kicker of all time, first ballot Hall of Famer. Need him on the show, boys. Love it. Keep it up. Go Pats.
Definitely got to get Vinatieri on. He's jacked right now, too.
Little salt and pepper, gray beard, ripped.
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, right?
100%.
He's up next, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
First ballot.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the first
He's the next
ballot
class.
kicker?
Ooh,
Who are the other kickers? Gary Anderson, Morton Anderson, right? Not Gary.
Morton Anderson's like the only kicker, him and like
Yeah.
Ray Guy.
Yeah.
He's a punter.
Which game do you do? So many. He'd be a great one for the Panthers. The Panthers Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that was epic. Duck Rule game. Nah, we probably wouldn't get him.
It's like that's like a documentary.
We talk about it. Oh, Jan Stenerud and Morton Anderson are the only two.
First ballot.
Yeah.
The guy made so many clutch kicks.
Justin
And-
Tucker will be next.
Hey, people
Colts,
forget
too.
about Steve Gostkowski, though.
Don't forget about old Stevie.
Stevie had a bunch of kicks, and for a long time, he had like the record for career average. You know, it wasn't until he fucked up his hip. People sleep on Steve Gostkowski. I mean, we got a lot of Super Bowls because of him. But Adam does have he got the memorable shots, the kickoff.
The lights going.
Flashball.
Someone did a tweet. The Super Bowl just happened. That was like
No, I was saying like the kickoff of the whole thing, dynasty.
right the thing, but like the kickoff, like to start the Super Bowl. And it's got all the flashing lights, and like someone made a tweet that's like the era of that is over because everyone's on their cell phone. No one's got the flash.
No flash.
So it's just kind of like
The flash bulbs were tight.
yeah,
That
that first shot with all the lights.
Just like we were talking about with Eric. No more Monday Night Football. Or man, you doesn't have the luster like this game did.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jordan. Great. You're a smart, intelligent human being. We all appreciate you. This was a 10 call-in.
Oh my God. Jordan is one of your buddies you put up to this.
Krabby call.
He's not, but he has a 413 number, so we're very
Oh my God.
a kin spirit. Thank you, Jordan.
Krabby
Jordan.
Kyler.
Jordan that loves the Russian judge. Thanks.
Hey,
Jordan.
what's up, y'all? Just got a quick question. Are the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl next year? I really think it's our year next year. I knew it was supposed to be this year and the year before, but I really think next year is going to be our year. Peace.
Spoken like every Cowboy fan ever.
It'd be good for the league,
Yeah.
but if they go in and it just seems like it's the same thing every year with them. Real good in the regular season. Light jokers up that need to be lit up. Bad teams. Battle two of the really good teams, really good, maybe sneak a win away. And when it comes to playoffs, man, I don't know, for whatever reason, they got to get that monkey off their back.
Something. I mean, like,
You got to win a couple playoffs.
and then you always know there's going to be one or two games they drop to like the Cardinals or somebody this year. They're going to drop
Cardinals
one to
are
some-
always sneaky, though.
Right, but I mean, like one team like that, they're going to always drop like one game they shouldn't lose during the year, and they're not going to get home field advantage in the playoffs, and they're going to lose to whoever.
They got to get a
and
running
just
back.
choke. Yeah,
If only there was some coach out there with a winning pedigree that was just there.
Mike McCarthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
What about this, though? I was just thinking about that. Who's the one coach that knows how to stop Andy Reid's offense?
Bill. I saw a wild fan theory on TikTok last night that they would bring Bill in as DC in San Francisco. I was like, what are you talking about? Doesn't that seem insane to you?
No, Bill ain't.
I was going to say Bill is deep. Get out of here. Some joke that's trying to reason it out.
I felt like he always knew how to dial up against Andy.
Always.
I mean, I know we had DCs, and that's Bill. We had DCs, and that's Bill. Ain't nobody had titles. We saw that for years. DCs, Bill.
Go into Arrowhead. Tyreek Hill, he doesn't scare us.
Even that Eagles Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Donovan McNabb puking in the huddle.
T.O.
T.O. had a broken leg.
Freddie Mitchell, where
He's
you at,
still
buddy?
bald.
Fred X.
Dude, I hate Fred X. Screw him. Yeah, he's in our comments talking smack, too, now.
Is he?
The guy just
That's
won't go
awesome.
away. Get out of here, buddy.
Has Bill ever said anything about Freddie Mitchell ever?
No.
Okay, just that one clip.
Who? I would say who?
Yeah, I don't know. Cowboys, I mean, come on. We got some demons to overcome. And that demons just so happen to be the way to get to the Super Bowl. So
A little more salt on that Egg McMuffin. Maybe it'll get you there.
get some garlic. Or is that vampires?
It works. It'll work for this.
Get some garlic. Get some sage. You can pull the Aaron Rodgers. Didn't Aaron Rodgers sage something?
I think Kyrie did
Or Kyrie?
at the Garden.
Okay, we need a sage. We need garlic. and we need silver just to start stabbing, like just in case. We
Gotta
got
bury
werewolves.
something. You gotta-
Something, yeah.
Should bury something.
/ seance / get right / overcome our demons. Maybe they got to sacrifice Tony Romo after the fumbled snap. Ever since then, they've been. I mean,
Nah,
something.
they've been better.
Sorry, Romo, we love you.
They're gonna get their corner back. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules, we got to get some knowledge and get some info. What's the story on Jack? He's behind the desk. He's running the show. He's got, he's doing all the things behind the scenes. Bring him into the light. What's his story? Where did he come from?
I didn't say. I mean, I'm usually pretty good on the voicemail. I never saw this question.
I snaked this one in.
Oh my goodness.
Old Jackie.
What's
Jackie.
my story? Do we give him the abridged version?
Davison?
Do I go?
Davison?
I mean, I hail from Davidson, yes, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
That's where I hail from. I work for Coast Productions, Julian's production company, doing some writing, some creative development, some producing stuff, alongside Kyler and Asaf.
And he's a Bay magnet.
Yeah, there we go. Jules
Watch
hyping
them
me up.
DMs.
We the DMs are open. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know what
Big
else to tell
basketball
you.
guy.
You were a scholarship manager
I
at
was
Elon.
Basketball manager. Let me see what else. I don't know. Not much to tell.
When we first hired Jack, he came in with like pages of like, this is when we were doing like the smoothie time and burger time skits and shit. He had like pages of like sketches that he like wrote. I kind of think did you move to Boston to like take an interview
Oh,
with
I
us?
was living there already. I was sleeping on couches, crashing in Boston with my boys, Pat and Anton. Helped Jules do his prep for Inside the NFL before this, and that kind of led to sitting Fox, and now I'm kind of the resident sort of stat guy over here. But as far as running the show goes, no. Kyler's on the show rundown, running that.
Yeah,
thing.
but you're the heart of the show, Jack.
You're a
what else am
spark
I-
plug, buddy.
And oh my goodness, what else am I doing?
Such a
back
little
here?
piece that makes such a big difference.
Oh, thanks, guys. But yeah, I'm over here pulling stats and Googling stuff and chiming in, and I don't know. That's the story.
You'll learn more.
I'll learn more.
Just
I'll-
keep
as in,
listening.
I'm like an onion, baby. Peel me back.
Like a blooming onion
That's
from
right,
Outback
baby. Shout out
Steakhouse.
Outback.
Little,
Shout out
little dip
Outback.
in there. You,
I love
what an episode. Thanks again to Eric Stone
Street.
Street.
Compound word last name.
Compound word last name. And thank you to the Wynn Las Vegas. That was awesome. Follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. See you next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.